Hello and welcome to Nice and Blunt. My name is Adam Riancho and it's time for another live stream and draft. Let us begin. Forgot to mention the day. Today is August 7th, 2024. The time is 6:15 p.m. and we will be hopping in to another tournament on Underdog. What's up, Uzi? Welcome in. I am going to hop into I was planning to do a poodle, but then I noticed that they dropped one of the flock tournaments again. And honestly, I think this is a tournament worth getting into. It's maximum 3 entries, so I want to get in before it fills. And although you have to finish number 1 out of 12 to make the playoffs, I love the playoff structure. Advancing past week 14 is actually very likely to happen. It's a 1 versus 1 matchup in weeks 15, 16, and then a 100 seat final in week 17. If you do make the final, if you do finish top 100, you get at least $50. You don't get any money though if you don't make the final. So that's something to keep in mind. Kind of hard to make the money back, but if you do advance, it's very good odds for you to turn $10 into 50. It goes up from there. First prize takes home 10K. So I'm going to join this tournament. I'm on a 5-6 second delay. So if you want to draft with me, hit that button right now. And I will be joining you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's jump in. 6 spots left. We will be drafting very soon. Now it's down to 5. Going to be a short wait, most likely. But I do want to bring something up before we get drafting. There has been a change for the subscriber league. One of the entries has dropped out. So it was full just a few days ago. However, at the moment, there is 1 spot left in the subscriber league. If you want to join, if you're watching right now, if you're watching on the playback, I would love for you to join the subscriber league. And in order to do that, scroll down. The description has all of the info you need to claim that spot. You need to email me subject league at niceandblunt@gmail.com. We have 1 spot left for 12 teams. If we get 3 people, then I'll probably bump it up to 14. But at the moment, we have 11 out of 14. Out of 12, 11 out of 12. 1 spot is available. If you want it, it's up for grabs. First come, first serve. It's a $50 buy-in, 12-team league at the moment. We do have a salary cap auction draft scheduled for Thursday, August 29th, 8:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So send me that email if you want it. And of course, just as I expected, I get a terrible pick. No, we don't need the intro again. I get a terrible pick once again. I have pick 12. I have motherfucking pick 12. I see you, Jason River Rat, at pick 1. You lucky son of a bitch. I swear, I'm going to pull this up so you know I'm not lying to you. But yes, Uzi, you can join. Yes, Jason, you can also join as well. Whoever emails me first will get that spot. If we get enough for 14... I'll probably make it a 14-team league. But River Rat, you go CD Lamb at pick 1. That's the pick I would have made in your shoes. But anyways, just to prove to you that the bad luck that I have, there was another one of these tournaments not long ago. I'm going to make sure I don't get auto-picked. But where is it? I had 3 entries in this tournament before, and here it is. I had pick 11, pick 10, and pick 12. I got 10, 11, 12 in the first 3 entries I did in this tournament. So not good luck in terms of picks, and on the channel I've been getting very late round picks. It is what it is. But it's a salary cap auction. That's okay, man. You can definitely pass if you don't want to do that. If you don't have any experience, it's perfectly fine. But you're not going to be the only one who doesn't have any experience. There are a couple people this year who have never done it before. It's very fun, very entertaining. And of course, Debo goes. We're in line for an injured Puka if we want him. Oh God, this is ugly at the moment. I think I'm gonna take Marvin. Just to lock up a good receiver. Waddle's dealing with an injury. We're going to take Marvin Harrison. Do I just take Puka? He should be ready for week 1. It's not going to be a big deal, but I might be burning this entry. Let's just take him. Let's just do it. Let's just take Puka. Fuck it. Let's invest in the Rams offense. There's also the week 17 bring back. The Cardinals do play the Rams week 17. So if I do make it that far, who knows, maybe that's a shootout. Maybe the young receivers pay off for me. But yeah, pick 12 is looking even worse than it was a week ago with the injury to Puka. And if Debo goes above pick 12, it's not even fun. Once again, I am drinking water out of a coffee mug. I use this mug for the sake of volume. It's bigger than most of the cups or glasses that I have, and for the sake of the live stream, I want as much water available as possible. But I have gotten some inquiries the last few times you've seen this mug. Yep, that's water, not coffee. But Debo, understandably, is rising. There's a world where Aiyuk doesn't get traded. I'm so glad that the Patriots are out of the running because I have a lot of Brandon Aiyuk investment, and the Patriots would be a nightmare scenario for him to go there. But obviously, he's not getting the situation he wants. I think he wants the Steelers, and the Steelers want to obviously trade as few pieces as possible in order to get him. I would say there's like a 40% chance he's a Steeler, maybe like a 25% chance he's a Brown, and then the rest, what would that be? There's still 35% left. I'd say 30% chance he stays in San Francisco, and then there's like a 5% chance it's somebody else. There could be a random dark horse, but I would say the front runner for Aiyuk at the moment would be the Steelers in terms of landing spot. That's probably what's going to happen. And that would fuck over my George Pickens investments, my Pat Freiermuth investments. That would not be good for your boy if Aiyuk is a Steeler. Not going to be happy if he does get traded, but looks like that's going to happen. More likely than not. Interesting strategy. Team 2 going with triple running back, CMC, Kyron, and Derrick Henry. Don't see that very often. Team 7 gets a big steal with Jahmyr Gibbs at pick 18. I do like that start. Breece Hall, Jahmyr Gibbs. Very unique. Kind of tough to come back from, but with Team 2 monopolizing a lot of running backs, there's going to be a lot of juiced up values at the running back position. We'll see what happens, but I'm probably going to be going with Isaiah Pacheco at the 3-4 turn if available. Just knowing how steamed up and desperate everybody else is going to be regarding running back values later on. Aiyuk goes pick 30 in this draft, just plummeting down the board. Ugh, I hate to see it. But, wow, Devontae Adams picked 27. That's interesting. I definitely prefer Adams over Malik Neighbors, but this is a fair pick in my eyes. This is where he should be going, top of the 3rd. I'd rather have Cooper Kupp. I'd rather have Devontae Smith. I'd rather have Jalen Waddle. Personally, I'd rather have Metcalf and Mike Evans over Adams, but wow, pick 27. Don't see that very often. With Cooper possibly getting traded, there is a potential Browns trade in line for Amari Cooper, I'd probably pass on Cooper. I think I'd have T. Higgins above every receiver available at the moment. So I'm 100% going Pacheco, guaranteeing Pacheco. I could force the issue in this draft and take ETN as well. Like, we would really handicap other teams in terms of running back values. I might do that. I'm thinking about it. But 100% taking Pacheco here. You know what? I may regret this. Or maybe I go Kelsey. Nah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with ETN and just force the issue on running backs. There are currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams without a running back with ETN off the board. And I think as the rounds go by, I'm going to be able to pass on the position, and I might be getting good values at other spots as running backs get like heavily pushed up the board. This might come back to burn me, but at pick 12, this is where I justify reaching on players. ETN usually goes towards the back half of round 4, occasionally falls to round 5, but usually before pick 44. And there's no fucking chance I can get a running back at pick 60, 61 of the caliber of Pacheco or ETN. So reaching a little bit, we'll see how it works out. But at the very least, I think I will be one of the more competitive teams at the running back position in this lobby. We'll see how it works out. But remember, in this tournament, you have to finish first of the 12 teams. So I can't settle for second. I need to be competitive. And there's a team with Breece Hall, Jahmyr Gibbs. There's a team with 3 running backs already. I'm setting myself apart with running backs, going Pacheco and ETN. 2 players I've ranked inside my top 9 at the position. And Dev does like my strategy, taking those running backs. Says it's harder to get buried these days, and I definitely don't want to get buried with running back being a coveted position the rest of the way. But yeah, there's only 3 entries in this tournament that you can max out at. There are going to be some unique teams. This is my way of trying to do that, but I might regret passing on T. Higgins there, just because I know wide receiver is a little tough later on. We will see. But after I take ETN, we see Josh Allen, Sam Laporta, Amari Cooper, George Pickens, T. Higgins, Travis Kelce falling to pick 43, followed by Jalen Hurts, Trey McBride. Would have been really interesting to see if George Pickens gets paired up with any Brandon Aiyuk teams. That's really interesting. But I'd also make the bet that Justin Fields is probably going to be the week 1 starter at this point. I think it's not looking good for Russ these days, and that's fair. I feel like we're kind of tired of Russell Wilson, collectively. It's not just Sean Payton. But holy shit, Keenan Allen, the wide receiver 1 for team 2. I could be wrong. I might be very low on Keenan. If you looked at my rankings, you probably think I am. But, oh wow, River Rat, you get Lamar and Mark Andrews. Bravo. Excellent. Excellent situation. But, nah, bro, coach said it was Russ still today. I mean, yeah, but it's still only August 7th, man. And Russ is not yet practicing with that calf issue. He's a bit older. He's definitely washed. And the only thing that, like, kind of elevates his game is the mobility that he randomly offers. So I think he might get like maybe 4 weeks if they do give him the job week 1. I could see them benching him before the season starts. We still have a month before week 1. Jody is asking, keep Brees in the first at the 112 or take the 101 spot. Tell me a little bit more about the format. Is it full PPR? Is it half PPR? How many wide receivers do you have to start? How many flex spots do you have to start? I think that's the only contingency for my decision. But I'm leaning towards keeping Brees. I'm leaning in that direction. But let me know, Jody, what the roster looks like, what the scoring setting is, will be the determining factor for me. Full PPR. It's very tempting to go with CeeDee Lamb, but I think you can still probably get a good receiver there. I think I'm going to go with Breece Hall at pick 12 because you're still going to get like pick 13. You're getting a great value on Breece, who could lead the NFL among running backs in receptions. Excellent PPR value with Breece. Yeah, I think I would take pick 12, keep Breece, and go with a hero running back build. I'd probably take 3 straight wide receivers the next 3 picks. But, oh boy, we have an Anthony Richardson falling to us, and I do like that. But probably going to take George Kittle as well. I think I want Kittle on this team. I'm a little underweight, and if Aiyuk really does get traded, then Kittle's so much more valuable. Way more volume in line for him. 100% taking Kittle here. And as much as I want Richardson, I think I'm just going to get buried too deep if I pass on receiver. I'm going to go Chris Godwin here. Going to take Chris Godwin. Hoping for positive touchdown regression. Hoping for some values later on. But going with a floor play because I just know that there is a massive tier break at receiver. I can't imagine I get one of the receivers I want at pick 84. Usually, if you're at pick 80, you're already gambling when you pass on receiver in round 6. So to go with Kittle puts me in a hole. I can't afford to grab Richardson as much as I want him. I would have liked Richardson there, but I do have Marvin Harrison. I could sneak in a Kyler Murray pick if he falls to me at the next turn. So that's probably my plan. If not, we're probably looking to stack up Matthew Stafford or Chris Godwin. You're welcome for the advice, Jody. Hope it works out. It's definitely tempting to go with an elite wide receiver. Like locking up pick 1 and having CeeDee Lamb is definitely a value as well. But such good value on Breece, and I still think you can get a decent pick at receiver at 13th overall. I assume it's a 12-team league. Was debating Mahomes and Brown or Rice too. I think you made the right call, Jason. Definitely prefer Lamar and Mark Andrews over. As much as I think Mahomes might be better, I view them kind of the same. Mahomes was a little disappointing last year. He should bounce back. But I think on a weekly basis, you're going to get way more consistency from Mark Andrews as you will with any of the 3 Chiefs receivers. If it was Mahomes Kelsey, I would definitely prefer Kelsey Mahomes. But obviously that's not ever happening at the 4-5 turn. Lamar Mark Andrews is so good. Andrews, when healthy, was actually tight end 1 last year on a per game basis. He was on pace for 11 touchdowns as well. Laporta was the only other tight end that went over 6 touchdowns. Andrews, you can make the case that he's actually the best tight end in the league this year. So we'll see. But Dev is hoping that it's Fields would save his pre-draft teams. For the sake of upside, I think it would also be a little bit better all around the board if it was Justin Fields as well. But yeah, as I expected, running back is a bit steamed up. We see Kamara go at 65. Definitely a high price tag on Kamara to a team with Saquon. And there's still a team at pick 6 that has yet to draft running back. River at Jason at pick 1 goes with Montgomery as his RB1. And that's a bit more of a floor play. If Gibbs goes down, though, you have a top 5 running back, but odds are Gibbs does not get hurt. Odds are he does not miss more than 2 games, like he did last season. But, yeah, it's a bit much more dicey at running back moving forward. What am I looking at receiver? I've touted Brian Thomas in the past. Very little camp reports. He's a quiet individual. There was a recent interview, I believe it was yesterday, with Doug Peterson on the Rich Eisen show, asking him, like, what's the deal with Brian Thomas? And yeah, even Doug Peterson was like almost at a loss for words. Like, he's a quiet guy. He's a hard guy to pin down. Damn it, Kyler Murray gets taken 76. That's okay. The team with McBride snipes him from me. We'll be all right. We'll be okay. But if Brian Thomas is going to continue to fall, I'm going to continue to take him wherever I can. I'm a believer in his talent. Let's just remind you. Brian Thomas Jr.'s athletic profile. This man is a beast. 6'3", 209. He weighs 45 pounds more than Xavier Worthy, and he runs a 4.33. Worthy ran a 4.21, but can get bodied in press man coverage, as we've seen in some clips already. Meanwhile, Brian Thomas, fast as fuck, 98th percentile, 99th percentile speed score. I love me some Brian Thomas this year. He's a bit young, only 21 years old, but I think he'll work out. Willing to bet on him, and he goes at 78. That's okay. Addison officially with a DUI, but the hearing is scheduled for October 7th. So that would be like week 6. I believe that's their bye week. Pretty sure October 7th is the Vikings bye. Let's confirm. They play October 6th in London. He needs to be in LA the following day for his hearing. Yeah, lines up. Just because I need receiver depth, I'm going to go with Addison here. And then I'm also tempted to take Jake Ferguson. You know, I rank him very high. There's also another team with 2 tight ends, so we could bully the position here. I might do it because I don't really want to grab one of these running backs. With Pacheco and Etienne, I don't feel like I need it. I don't have anyone that stacks up with Burrow. I'm going to go Jake Ferguson. Now I'm done at tight end. We kind of forced the issue a little bit on both running back and tight end. I might regret this, but at pick 12, we're behind the 8 ball already. We kind of need to gin up something in our favor. So let's do it. We don't need running back. And I don't really want to reach on Cortland Sutton, Josh Palmer here. So let's go Jake Ferguson. But Jason says, I have a buddy who is in the analytics department with the Lions. They are running a ton of Montgomery at running back and Gibbs in the slot receiver this year. That's really interesting. And that kind of makes sense. With no Josh Reynolds, there's a lot that they are putting on the plate of Jameson Williams. And it wouldn't shock me if they don't believe in him enough to give some of those looks to Gibbs instead. They pay Montgomery a lot as well. Montgomery still makes, I want to say, $8 million per season. I mistyped that. Montgomery has the 14th biggest contract at the running back position here. Let me zoom in a little bit. On the second year of his contract, still 8.75 million guaranteed, 6 million this season. Yeah, 6 million per year, not 8 million like I was thinking, but the 14th highest paid running back in the NFL. Only 27 years old, was very involved last season, scored 13 touchdowns. I think he's in line for another 10 touchdowns this season. One of the last running backs I'm comfortable with as my RB1. If you have to shift over to James Conner, Aaron Jones, there's upside for sure. It could work out, but they're definitely on the older side. They're both 29 years old, and they're both definitely going to miss games. That's been the case for them year over year. Every season, these players miss games. Aaron Jones missed like 6 last season, only finished like a full 8 games. He was on and off the field early. James Conner missed, I want to say, 4 games last season, as well as the year before. Could lose his job to Trey Benson. Yeah, we'll see. Wow, Team 3 goes with 3 tight ends. So, some weird, unique teams so far. Very interesting rosters. But if you don't have a tight end at this point, I think you're kind of desperate for Njoku, Dallas Goedert. Now even Pat Freiermuth is not safe with the looming trade for Brandon Aiyuk. So yeah, Team 2 goes Njoku. They only have 3 receivers up to this point. Yikes. I feel scary. I feel scared about Team 3. They went triple running back out the gate. Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Keon Coleman. Double QB, CJ Stroud and Joe Burrow. And David Njoku as their starting tight end. Team 2 scares the shit out of me. But Riverat, you go with Zach Moss and Josh Palmer at the turn. Players I definitely endorse. Mostert falls to 102. Is there any news on Mostert? It's too late to find out. You can check out the news blurbs when they're still in like the list of players you can draft, but once somebody takes them and you have to go onto their team to see them, you can't read the news blurbs. So I have to pull it up in another tab. Anything on Mostert? Anything on Miami? No, it doesn't look like it. Just people fading him so far. There's some news on Jalen Wright, though. Jalen Wright putting forth strong training camp. Good to know. On the clock, we need to take a pick. And Dak Prescott falls here. I have Jake Ferguson. Let's go. Fuck yeah. Love me this value on Dak Prescott, pick 108. 100% that is my pick. There's no way I'm taking Javonte Williams. Fuck no. And given I have Dak Prescott, let's do a double stack here. Dak Prescott, Brandon Cooks, Jake Ferguson. Hell to the yes. Love it. So a little disappointed I didn't get Kyler Murray, but I get a huge value on Dak Prescott. And I didn't know that was going to happen, but completely justifies this Jake Ferguson selection. Perfect situation for yours truly. I lucked out. Definitely got lucky here. But I will take it. Very happy. Tyjae Spears officially goes above Tony Pollard in this draft. The 2 co-starters back to back. Kind of makes sense. I still view Pollard slightly above Tyjae, but I do have them back to back in my rankings. But Bobby Digital, welcome. How's it going? Less than a month till football. I know. I'm so excited. Officially less than a month. September 5th is the first day. So 4 more weeks. Tomorrow is officially Thursday, and 4 weeks after tomorrow, it'll be the first game of the year. That Chiefs Ravens matchup gonna be so good on Thursday night. Can't fucking wait. But let me check my email. Jason, you mentioned you're interested in joining the subscriber league. Let me see if you did. Okay. Jason, I have your email. You have locked up your spot. Jason, you're officially in the subscriber league. Welcome, my friend. Bobby says doing a 10-team PPR Superflex league, and my current format is 2 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex, 1 tight end, 7 bench. Thoughts? With 10 teams, I think that bench is justified. It looks like there's no defense or kicker, so a little bit less variance. You know, sometimes I still like the leagues with the defense, special teams, and kicker. Like, it just makes it that much more random. But I love the fact that there's 2 flexes, especially in 10 teams with 2 QBs as well. Maybe it's a little bit deep in terms of like 7 bench spots with an extra 2 starting roster spots without the defense and kicker. But yeah, that might be the only thing I might try and change. Like, if that could be knocked down to like 6 bench spots and an IR, I think that might be a little bit more interesting. But my only concern is that the waiver wire going to be super thin. That's it. But otherwise, that just makes the draft that much more competitive and that much more important. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with that. Yes, I added the second flex because it's 10 team. I don't want it to be too shallow. I think that's wise. I think when it's 8 teams, it's completely necessary. When it's 10 teams, it's not always necessary. Like, the thing about one flex spot only is that you can mess up a lot more with your decisions. Like, when there's 2 flexes, you know exactly who you're starting, guaranteed, and then that second flex is like, okay, well, I have a good feeling about this player, but when it's just one, you might vie to start the wrong player. In the subscriber league, we have bonuses for any like 100-yard game or like 300-yard passing game. If it's a 200-yard game or 400-yard passing, it's even more of a bonus. But that's kind of how I mitigate some of the lack of depth in the starting roster. But I want it to be more competitive in your decision making. So you have to know for a fact like which flex you're starting, and you can definitely be wrong a lot more when there's only one flex. When there's 2 flexes, you have a little bit more wiggle room, a little more room for error, because usually one of those guys is not going to be usually one of them is way better than the other, and that's where a lot of people fuck up. Who do they bench for that flex decision? But Zeke is falling. That's really interesting, but I'm very satisfied with the fact that I did pass on running back for quite some time now. I'm hoping I do not get sniped. He goes Eckler, so hell yeah. We're looking at Rico Dowdle, 100%. Dowdle has gotten some good practice news, and Zeke, he was not looking too good in like a clip, but he was also hitting the nuts at the same time, so maybe that's why. But Dowdle does appear to be in line for a little bit more upside. But I'm definitely going Rico Dowdle. I think I'm going to go with the younger player over Zeke. I might take both here. It's definitely tempting. I could also go Ty Chandler. Don't think I'm going to do it, though. Mike Williams was activated off the pup list, so his ADP is probably going to move up the board soon. It's between Mike Williams. It's between Zeke. Very tempting to go Zeke, but I have a ton of Cowboys already. I'm going to go with Mike Williams. Gonna go with my boy Mike, a player that's just hard for me to quit on. And the fact that he was activated off the pup list, I do think his ADP is going to start to rise up a little bit more moving forward. But the fact that he's fallen down here to pick 133, I mean, I took him 3 spots above ADP. He's now 136. But round 12, there's a ton of risk with Mike Williams, but it's completely baked into the price. Similar to Gabe Davis, like, you're going to get a lot of big spike weeks and then a lot of unusable games. And in best ball, that's kind of what you're looking for. It's definitely a lot more justified to take Mike Williams in best ball than your typical redraft setting. So I'm happy with him. I need receiver here. And if Mike Williams can stay healthier than last season, I think he will pay off at this price. But Rico Dowdle, my RB3, with Pacheco and Etienne. If you don't mind me asking, what's the most you've ever won in best ball? If you don't mind me asking, I don't mind you asking. I've never won a tournament. I've made it to week 16 in a tournament last season, but it was a super flex format, and I had Kirk Cousins on that team, so I was like shocked that it made it, and that barely paid out. Like, I think I made like triple the buy-in. It was like a $7 buy-in, but collectively, I have broken even 3 out of 4 years on, or no, I've been on Underdog for 3 years. This is my 4th year. I've broken even, made a little bit more than like $150 from what I've bought in. Last year I put in like $650, and at the end of it all, I took back $800. But a lot of those were like 12-team leagues. I'm doing a lot more tournaments this year. I feel a little more confident. But realistically speaking, like, obviously we all want to be confident and like assume we're going to win, but the odds are against you when you are on best ball. So I've kept it close to even. 2 years ago, I lost a lot of money. Well, I only put in like 150 that year, but I lost like well over $100. 2 years ago, I was really bad. But last year, I was better than broke even. The first year I did it, I also broke even. And this year, I'm hoping to take home a lot more. But not that I asked, but Jason got 4th in the FFPC Best Ball Mania for 18K. Congrats, Jason. Let's go. 18K. That's fucking awesome. You have a red badge, so you've drafted a ton of teams. I only got my black badge recently. Yeah, I can't say I've won, like, taken home over $1,000 in any tournament. I'm not gonna lie to you. Hoping for that to change, but with more volume this year, I think I have better odds. Last year, I didn't do a ton of tournaments. I was a little afraid of the tournaments, but now I'm a little more confident in my odds, and I have a little more disposable income as well for gambling purposes. But yeah, let's hope for the best. We will see. Jason, at pick 1, you went with 4 straight running backs, rounds 9 through 12. Zach Moss, Gus Edwards, Zach Charbonnet, and Tyler Algier. Okay. Hope it works out for you, man. That Lamar Mark Andrews stack is just so nice. Wow, Michael Wilson, pick 146. Is there Michael Wilson news? Running with the starters, that was 12 days ago, so nothing brand spanking new. We expected him as one of the starters, so not quite sure why that team reached on Michael Wilson when they could go Ricky Pearsall, given the current climate regarding San Francisco. But okay, if that's who they want. Team 2 is weird. Team 2 doing their own thing. I've not really been a big fan of Team 2's strategy this entire time. So another weird pick. But I'm so ecstatic about that Dak Prescott stack with Ferguson, Brandon Cooks, Rico Dowdle. Like, this is dope. But, oh, wow. We could get a really good value at running back. I might get sniped on all 3, though. Herbert's falling, given the walking boot. That is expected, but now it's a full round. I think he's definitely up for grabs. Wilson recently got an x-ray and found out there was that dog in him. Well, that's what TJ Houshmandzadeh's been saying for a year now. TJ Houshmandzadeh has been hyping up Michael Wilson. since last year's combine. Watch me get sniped on all the quarterback values here. Watch it happen. But I don't even have... Yeah, Kirk Cousins goes. Maybe saves me from myself. Definitely want some J.K. Dobbins on this team. With him being full in training camp as well as the injury to Justin Herbert, I think they will lean on him a little bit more in the early weeks. So let's take him. And I could go Chuba Hubbard, but I don't need the early season correlation. You've seen me gamble on him in the past. Jalen Wright having an excellent camp. Let's go Jalen Wright. I want a piece of this Dolphins offense. Not worth reaching on Baker despite our Chris Godwin investment. Let's go J.K. Dobbins, Jalen Wright. Massive upside if those two players hit. I also needed running back, so would have definitely gone Stafford there. If he fell, Rodgers was also sniped. Wasn't really trying to get Kirk Cousins, but definitely a tier break at the position. I probably would have considered him if available. But I'm kind of surprised that Team 10 went with Herbert above Kirk Cousins. I know Herbert was falling, but they had Darnell Mooney. I think they had Drake London. No, they did not have Drake London. Team 11 had Drake London. Yeah, so there was no fucking chance I was getting Kirk Cousins. But, okay. Now I understand Team 10 a little bit better. Anyways, I like this team. I like it quite a bit. We have Dak Prescott at QB. He is triple stacked with multiple Cowboys. I got Rico Dowdle for what it's worth. I also have Brandon Cooks and Jake Ferguson. So I might be in line for maybe a Jalen Tolbert pick as well. I might do that. At running back, a little top heavy, but good depth in my view with Pacheco, Etienne, Rico Dowdle, J.K. Dobbins, and Jalen Wright. Wide receiver, I might need 9 receivers. No, I probably can't do that because this is going to be a 3 QB build now that we only have Dak Prescott through 14 rounds. So a 3-5-8-2, I think that's the way we're going to go. We're done at running back. We're done at tight end. We have 4 picks left. 2 QBs, 2 receivers with the final 4 picks. That's what I'm doing. Yes, I did get another late pick. No worries, fight me. It's all right. We have a good roster. Despite pick 12, the Dak Prescott stack saving me. Saving my ass. But, yeah, bad luck once again. I hope my other entries in this tournament do not have such late picks. I don't really understand taking Ray Davis above Chuba Hubbard, personally. Like, I get it. There's always upside in Buffalo, but we've never seen Ray Davis on the field, and I do think James Cook just staves him off all year long. Not excited about Ray Davis in the same way I'm excited about Chuba Hubbard. Team 11 going Davis over Hubbard, not the pick I would have taken. Do they have Josh Allen? Is that why? Yeah, that's probably why. Even then, though, Josh Allen's going to vulture a ton of rushing touchdowns. Ray Davis being successful counters that. Does he have James Cook? No, he doesn't have James Cook. Okay. If he had both of them, I think that would be very unwise. But after Ray Davis, we see Rashad Bateman, Demarcus Robinson to the team with Stafford, Isaiah Likely, Noah Fant, Demario Douglas, Chuba Hubbard, Jalen McMillan, Hunter Henry, Khalil Herbert, Adam Thielen, Wan'Dale Robinson, Malachi Corley so far. So this is the stage of the draft where it gets ugly as fuck. Real fucking ugly at this point. Geno Smith continues to fall, now 172. We took him really late on the live stream. I think it was yesterday or Monday, I forget. We took him in like the 180s. Conklin off the board. That's good for us. Let the tight ends come off. Tight end and running back is who I want to see come off the board. Those are the positions I don't need. Quentin Johnston just plummeting. Understandable. DJ Chark taken above him. Very wise pick. But like I mentioned, I'm QB wide receiver the rest of the way. And we mentioned this earlier in the video. Barring a snipage, I'm looking at Justin Fields here. I'd be kind of pissed if I get sniped on Justin Fields at the moment. What you gonna do, Petey? Peary 24. Who are you taking? Take a running back, please. Or tight end. Take Kate Otten. Gibson, let's go. All right, I'm taking Justin Fields. Shooting for the fence. Swinging for the fence, excuse me. And then Jalen Tolbert, shining in camp, according to reports a day ago. Let's just further invest in the Cowboys offense. Maybe CeeDee Lamb gets hurt, and we just cash all of these Cowboys depth pieces. Let's go Jalen Tolbert as our 7th receiver. So I need one more QB, one more wide receiver. And if Fields works out, he has top 10 upside. Could be the steal of the draft. Could truly be the steal of the draft. Sometimes goes undrafted. Not anymore. If you let Fields fall to round 16, 17, or 18, that is insane. But if it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. We need to finish first in this entire league, in this entire 12-team group, to advance to the playoffs. So just betting on him, hoping for the best. And who are we looking at QB? Maybe this is a Sam Darnold team. Maybe, just maybe. Sam Darnold, my boy, is in line for this roster. I do have Jordan Addison, so a little justified, but not excited with Daniel Jones, Bryce Young, Derek Carr, Drake May. Bo Nix is kind of tempting. Russell Wilson would be a bit of a floor play investment, just to insurance policy for if Fields does not get any starts. But probably going to go Sam Darnold. Most likely. Because I do still believe there's a world where Sam Darnold is the starter all year long. I think he probably gets benched week 11 at Tennessee. I think that would be the ideal spot for them to start J.J. McCarthy. Kind of a cake schedule to close it out as well. Like some tough divisional matchups, but like, you know, he's going to have to face them sooner or later. 2 games against Chicago, that might be difficult, but Tennessee, Arizona, Atlanta, Seattle, I think those are kind of the better spots on this schedule. Like, it's kind of tough early on. Like, other than the Giants game, you really want to throw out McCarthy against the Niners, the Texans, the Packers, the Jets. I wouldn't. And then after the bye, Detroit, the Rams, the Colts, maybe. Jacksonville, maybe. But if you're going to try and make your rookie quarterback confident, best start would be week 11 at Tennessee. So I think you get 9 games, 10 weeks of starting viability with Darnold. Maybe I'm wrong, but he is listed as the starter on the depth chart. And Nick Mullins is still actually above J.J. McCarthy on the depth chart as the backup. So I'm not a believer in McCarthy this season. I think long-term he'll work out just because of the nature of the weapons and the coach in Minnesota. But I think this year it's Darnold's job to lose. Jason says team 2 running back room, yuck. Who do they got? McCaffrey, Kyron, Derrick Henry. I mean, it's super top heavy. They got some good options at the top, but then, holy shit, what a reach on Tyrone Tracy. What the fuck? Pick 143. You can get Tyrone Tracy in the fucking 18th round. That's disgusting. Herbert maybe works out, but Roshan appears to be above him. You need a trade or an injury to Swift for Khalil Herbert to work out. Also reached on him. And then Estime, I do think Estime could be a value, but when you have that running back room already stacked up at the top, you don't need a sixth. Yeah, team 2, don't know what the fuck they're doing. Take a third quarterback as well with Stroud and Joe Burrow. Yikes. Team 2, ugly as fuck. And holy shit, tight end. Teams are taking Tucker Kraft in round 17. This is getting ugly as fuck as well. I'm living over here with Kittle and Ferguson. So it took a while, but our investment at running back and tight end early on has started to kind of pay off in terms of just like terrible depth across the board at other teams. But like I mentioned, I'm QB wide receiver at this point. We could go Yoshivas, potentially. There is some slight buzz around Jalen Hyatt getting regular first-team work, but that's because Darius Slayton is dealing with an injury, limited in practice, so don't know how much I buy into that. Jonathan Mingo reportedly listed as a starter above Xavier Legette. I think he's probably still behind Adam Thielen, so I don't think I really want Mingo. Johnny Wilson pushing for the number 3 job in Philly. That's kind of interesting. But, I mean, Juwan Jennings, excellent Super Bowl for him. Maybe he's set up for some success if Aiyuk does get traded. But we are going Sam Darnold. That's 100% sure. Let me know in the chat. Who do you think I should take? I think I'm leaning Juwan Jennings as my wide receiver 8. I think that's who I'm going to take. Feels like the most upside. So we take Darnold. Whittington is kind of interesting, but he's a rookie. I don't think he's going to be that Puka Nacua guy. But Puka's hurt. Maybe that's who you want. Nah, I'm going to go Jennings. I'm just going to go Juwan. Let's gamble. Let's fucking go for it. Not heavily drafted. And if Aiyuk gets traded, Juwan would move up these rankings a lot. Jason wanted me to go Dortch. A little too late. Sorry, but Dortch is interesting. I had Marvin Harrison, though. Not sure if I need Dortch without Kyler. But Team 3 is who you meant in terms of ugly running backs. Team 3 has Devon Achane, Ty Chandler, Roshan Johnson, and Kendry Miller. Holy shit. Team 3 is terrible at running back. Holy shit. Ty Chandler, the RB2. Yeah, that's disgusting. That makes you want to vomit. Kendry Miller as well. Oh my God. That's disgusting. It's insane how far Kendry Miller has fallen in just like 2 short weeks after injuring his hamstring. Nobody wants to touch Kendry with a 10-foot pole. But a little reminder about our roster here. I had pick 12, and we have Dak Prescott, Justin Fields, Sam Darnold at QB. Justin Fields is unstacked, but that's fine. Prescott is ultra stacked. The only Cowboy we don't have is CeeDee Lamb and Zeke, but we have Rico Dowdle, we have Brandon Cooks, we have, most importantly, Jake Ferguson. We also have Jalen Tolbert stacked up with Dak Prescott. But Darnold is stacked up with Jordan Addison. Let's hope that works out. If Addison gets suspended in 2025, we are living. I doubt it, but definitely something to hope for. Running back, pretty good. We got Pacheco, Etienne, Rico Dowdle, J.K. Dobbins, Jalen Wright. A little top heavy, but decent depth. If these later round picks do hit, I will be very happy That's exciting. But wide receiver, we have 8 of them. Marvin Harrison, Puka Nacua, Chris Godwin, Jordan Addison, Brandon Cooks, Mike Williams, Jalen Tolbert, and Juwan Jennings. Swinging for the fence with Juwan Jennings. But tight end, one of the best aspects of this team, I got George Kittle, Jake Ferguson. This team is pretty decent. For pick 12, I actually like this roster quite a bit. I am comfortable with it. But let's take a look at River Rats' team. He has Lamar, Daniel Jones, Bryce Young, Dave Montgomery, Zach Moss, Gus Edwards, Zach Charbonnet, Algier, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Smith, Malik Neighbors, Christian Watson, Josh Palmer, Xavier Legette, Adam Thielen, Wan'Dale Robinson. Pretty good options at receiver. Tight end is Mark Andrews, his final pick. I assume will be a tight end, most likely. But I don't know if you need 3 running backs, 3 quarterbacks when you have Lamar, but when the second is Daniel Jones, the third is Bryce Young, I get it. I definitely understand the strategy. But if Algier works out, you're fucking living. Gus Edwards should be a good pick. Zach Moss, I think, is still fine. I'm hoping so. But, yeah, we'll see. And that's it for this live stream. I got to cook some dinner. It is 7:11 p.m. for yours truly, and I'm getting hungry. You know, I'm kind of considering after dinner coming back on the live and doing another entry into this tournament. I might do that. So if you want to join me, just look out for that. But I might do that in like another hour. Might get back on the live, just for the sake of the stream. But I appreciate y'all joining me. Everyone that was with me in the video. If you have not done so already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and it's been fun. I will see you either in like an hour and a half or on Friday with a live stream, but I will be posting my tight end rankings. I'm ranking every single tight end in the league in the video that comes out either late tonight or tomorrow. It's currently exporting, and the fact that I'm using my computer while that happens is definitely slowing down the process. But Dev wants me to do it. Dev definitely wants to see it happen. So it probably will. It probably will. Anyways, later, y'all. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Have a good night. Enjoy your evening.